Now, see, I turned on record because I got so hot and bothered, if you will. Even if you won't, I still got hot and bothered. Now, what is the show that I just watched? I just watched a show with Kate Mara. Now, is the other actress Kerry Washington, is that her name? Okay, what is this show? It's Apple TV show. And I will tell you that I'm spoiler alert too. Because I'm going to spoil the show for people who I'm multitasking. Hold on, sorry. Kerry Washington. And that guy, Kerry Washington TV show. What's it called? I find it really interesting what kind of search results. I was looking up riblet. For those of you, here it is. So, how far down? Tim Cook would like to know that their show, which is called Imperfect Women, is one. Well, I'm probably overlooking it because anyway, it's Imperfect Women. Oh, and who's the dude? Who is the dude? Now, the dude came up in a TV show, Seattle, and he acted alongside, and what is her name? Oh, and I totally know her name too. Okay, but yeah, in Seattle, Seattle detective show. It wasn't half bad. The Killing. There's like 3 or 4 seasons of it. And her name is, by the way, it's based on a Danish TV series. And I probably already knew that. Miriel Enos is the lady. Okay. And what did I say his name is? I already forgot it. Jesus. Good Lord, Dimitri. My bias against men. I mean, is our culture not preposterous? Look at me. I'm like a mumbling, testosterone-riddled philosophical animal, and I'm saying harumph about men. Well, I blame I blame red, white, and blue testosterone. That's what I blame. That's my excuse. Red, white, and blue testosterone. Red, white, and blue testosterone. Red, white, and blue testosterone. I'm not good at multitasking, even though it is my basic mode of consciousness. Explain that one to me, dear interlocutor. Joel Kinnaman. Okay, I'll never forget that now. Kinnaman. Kinnaman. All right. I tarry with the tedium in the foregoing because was it called Innocent Women? I mean, these are fortune. I mean, these are good coordinates for naming shows. Don't name a show something that the person does not remember, especially when they are like a kind of a memory nerd of sorts, like me. Even though I'm kind of shit at it, I'm really into memory. So there's a difference, right? Imagine there's an amnesiac. How's that for a thought experiment I just thought of? Sorry, my knees are 51 years old. What was I gonna say? What was my brilliant idea? Yeah. Who would you expect to be the most fascinated by memory? I'd expect a pretty hardcore amnesiac to be the most into memory, even though they're shit at it, right? AKA they don't have one. I mean, doesn't get any worse than that. Hey, I don't have a memory. Can you tell me what that's like? How can I get it? Etc. Sounds Lacanian to me. Lack, it's a recipe for the drives, people, right? So just because you like something doesn't mean you're good at it. I'm full of shit like that. Philosophy, baseball, electronic music. I'm relatively shit at all of it. But isn't it all just so badass? Yeah. My fucking dilettante interests are way fucking cooler than any category that I may or may not fall into. Than any category I may or may not be criticized for not falling into. How about that? Yeah. Innocent Women, is that it? A friend of mine is going through, God damn it. I'm still multitasking. Let's see. Kate, Mara, Kerry, Washington. Imperfect women. What did I say? Innocent women? Is that what I said? Dear Freud? Or Lacan, because I already said Lacan. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, Lacanians, call me up. I don't know. I mean, tell me what that shit means. The show is called Imperfect Women. See, what is this? What is this? What's happening is, in the Amnesiacs case, they're fascinated by memory. And I guess in my case, because I'm so into memory, I'm fascinated by amnesia now. What the fuck? Imperfect Women with Joel Kinnaman and Kerry Washington and Kate Mara. Okay. Now, I am going to take this opportunity, whether it's a sidebar or a parentheses, I will take this opportunity, and if I owe an apology to anybody that I offended, I mean, and particularly, people that I'm close to is what is my primary concern. I mean, if you're a stranger and I've offended you, I mean, I guess still, I would prefer, meeting you for a beer somewhere and having a conversation and getting some laughs out of it. Testosterone ain't no alibi, but it's an explanation. Testosterone is very real. So my Marty Supreme review from, I don't know how long ago it was. My Marty Supreme review in case you didn't see it, I said that, sorry, all of a sudden I'm like getting lightheaded. I forget to eat. Okay. In my Marty Supreme review, I first of all qualified by saying I didn't watch very much of the movie, and I think I did 2 reviews maybe. The first review I did before I saw the movie. And, I pretty much just, you have to watch it to know what I'm talking about. But one of the comments that I made was about Timothy Chalamet's penis and Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina. How, now I think maybe there was a sex scene between them. I was just guessing that you put 2 superstars on the bill like that, you're going to have to stage some kind of provocative encounter or encounters between them. And I wouldn't be surprised if any of it involved sex, or anyway, the suggestion of sex, and then replacement by body doubles and so forth. Well, I criticized the film on the basis that, as a statement by the director, because it's a big solo foray by Safdie brother, Josh, I guess. You know, and it's so Oedipal because it's like Safdie brothers and they're going solo now, and so the one guy's got to do like the movie about fighting and the other one does the movie about ping pong, but they're both, you know, I mean, is the other one is the Dwayne Johnson? You know, so it's like the proxies are Dwayne Johnson versus Marty Supreme. Anyway, so I was just making some remarks that all of those ideas are obviously in play. And at the outset, you know, knowing that our society has very peculiar sort of ambivalences when it comes to sex. On the one hand, we're kind of borderline about sex, Americans, I think. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Sorry if I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised too much. It strikes me that what was I going to say about pornography? And it was, what? Being provocative and pornography, and Americans invented something, I was going to say. Americans invented being borderline of, pornography addiction. That's what I was going to say. Pornography addiction. Huh? I mean, yeah, I understand the concern about violence, but it's a stretch to say that pornography is necessarily violent. Certainly explicit sex in itself is not the question. And I have the knockdown argument for that. If I'm staring at a vagina that's spread way open wide, dead on, straight in the screen, what am I watching? Pornography or a live birth? Well, in school growing up, we watched several live births. I mean, in health class or whatever they called it, sex ed. I mean, not that I don't know who watched them. I mean, I myself, I'm fairly squeamish. You know, like when I watch The Pit, for example, I'm always watching, you know, with I'm always ready to avert my eyes. Because when you're watching The Pit and you're not careful, I mean, this happened to me last night. You know, the show is 80% of the time it's just like chaos. So you look over and then, a guy is just holding a leg. He just, what do I do with this? And I looked and I got, oh, God damn it. That gosh darn pit. Fiona Dourif, represent. Fiona Dourif, represent. Live birth and porno. Porno live birth. What's the difference? Well, it's probably more constructive to use like the example of lesbianism. That's a really harsh sounding word, isn't it? I shan't use it again. I suppose lesbian sex is not a lesbianism. I mean, the ism at the end makes it sound like some kind of affliction. It doesn't sound good, but lesbian sex just sounds like a descriptive, analytical name. I can certainly imagine violent, hostile lesbian sex. I mean, like I'm kind of a plain vanilla hetero straight dude, and so lesbian sex is quite an exotic idea to me. I know literally nothing about it. I blame the fake news. No, but seriously, I blame the fake news. Why? Why does that make sense? To blame the fake news for this one. I will tell you why. Because finally, even though we do not see Joel Kinnaman's dick or Kerry Washington's vagina, and I gave you the spoiler alert, so you have been alerted. Even though we don't see anything, and that was my primary complaint about Gwyneth Paltrow and Timothy Chalamet, is that we didn't get to see their genitals. But my point more basically is that there is a tremendous sort of gap. Look, don't turn everything that I say into a pun because I'm talking about sex. Okay. There's a huge gap between get your mind out of the gutter. Let's say depictions of sex between Don Draper and his wife, or like, I don't know, some kind of super square plain vanilla notion of sex. Or like 1980s movies, or even earlier, like, You've Got Mail. Tom Hanks and Meg Whitten. Meg Tilden. Tilda Megden. How about that? Megalodon Tildonicus. What the fuck am I talking about? One of the virtues of really thinking about sex all the time, as many of us, gross testosterone riddled hetero dudes do, is that you never, I mean, it's really good as an anti-amnesiac strategy for memory, because so much of my life is sexual. So I remember it. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So anyway, there is a massive gap between pornography on the one hand and Romancing the Stone with Michael Douglas and what's her name? Does this look bad? Am I forgetting all the women's legs? That was a slip. Oh my God! It's like I'm on the couch now. Catch. That was another slip. The couch. Indeed, what was her name? Well, she hasn't been around for a while. That's my excuse. Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas. I mean, that was one of my first real educations about romantic love, because I was in third grade and the movie was quite, an adventure. It was very Indiana Jones, sort of Raiders of the Lost Ark-esque. And boy, I mean, that was my bailiwick, when I was however old I was, 8. Oh, I loved Romancing the Stone. And there was a lot of romance, right? I remember the sex scene from I've seen Romancing the Stone about 20 times. I don't know. That was a good sex scene. Plausible. Romantic. One of my exes from a while ago said that I always remember God, what movie was it though? I don't remember. I was going to say Blue Velvet. Oh, now I'm confusing it with Blue is the most serious color. What? That's not the title. Blue is the most coldest color, maybe? Yeah, that's got the Greek lady in it. What's her name? God, she's sexy. Impossible. She's like French. She's like half French and half Greek. That's serious lesbian sex movie. So it wasn't pornographic. Blue is the whatever's color, if that's what I said. I mean, if whatever the name is. Anyway, it's really, you know the movie. Really super dope sex in that movie, though. So, but you get what I'm getting at, I hope. Most generally is that we have a complete lack of representation of real human sex. Because we have, on the one hand, sort of like 1980s Hollywood sunset, sort of Romancing the Stone, where really the most striking image is like they're running through the jungle, or like the end of the movie is just very, what an ending, right? With the yacht, and they're driving down Fifth Avenue or whatever on the back of the yacht, and in a romantic embrace or whatever it was, with just impeccable, like whatever that was, like yacht rock saxophone shit from that soundtrack. I forget who did the soundtrack. Really super 1980s soundtrack. I mean, like, not super in the sense of like high quality. It's not bad, but I mean, like, it's 80s, you know, like 80. It's as 80s as like Harold Faltermeyer. How about that one? Axel F. It's roughly the same year, maybe 83, 82, I don't know. 84. Is it not strange, though? I mean, please appreciate this with me for a minute, because, you know, when I said my whole bit about Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow, you know, basically the critique is this, you know, I really want to see them fuck for real. I mean, whatever we expect in terms of standards from, you know, top flight pornography. I don't know. I mean, I'm not much of a pornography person, but you know, I'm familiar with like the big, you know, production houses or whatever they're called. So like the stuff, Skeet, right? Skeet, which of course is a slang word you can look up if you don't already, unfortunately, know the meaning of it. Yeah, that's really super hardcore pornography, and you know, cinematography and everything is just really high quality, and it's really, really hard stuff. But we don't get any drama. I mean, we all know it's a cultural cliche. It's a universal cultural cliche. You know, I mean, practically a nightly type of joke. I mean, frequency of joke on Jimmy Kimmel or something. You know, oh, I know. I thought this was a movie about that boy's stepmother. This isn't a family show, or I mean, you know, whatever the jokes are, but about, you know, step parents and stepmother. I guess that's a fetishistic sort of, that's a fantasy that various people have. So thinking that, you know, expecting your pornography to actually contain dramatic elements. Yeah. Lanthimos. Yeah, that was pretty hard. In what was it? Kinds of Kindness. Yeah. Now, we were talking about Kinds of Kindness when it came out, because we were puzzling. That sex scene is shown like on a video, like they're watching. Sorry for the spoiler. Some people are watching a video of the pornographic images. I mean, they're pornographic videos. Homemade pornography they're watching in that movie. And so the people are the actors. It's the same people depicted in the movie. You know, that's the story, is that they're watching themselves have sex, and so, you know, like who was in that? Rosanna Dana. You know, Emma Stone. So anyway, or the joke that what's his name, Michael Che's or was it Jost? I don't remember who's using a prosthetic butthole? Their word. Butthole is not my favorite word, but I think that was the word that they used in the joke. Prosthetic butthole. Who used a prosthetic butthole? It is Amanda Seyfried, I think. What is she? Why do I think that? I think that well, I would have to check. Anyway, so okay, you're gonna use a merkin. You're gonna use a prosthetic butthole. Body double. CGI your face. It just looks weak. I don't know. It just looks fucking weak. Like, just give us the business. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I mean, half the society has reason. Half the society is exposed to all manner of bodily functions, nudity, weird body sizes, abnormalities, unhealthy people. Half the society, at least. Tons of people are raising small children. They have to clean up after them. Right? I mean, where is this vestigial? How do we have vestigial, and I don't know the word for it. Prudishness comes to mind. I don't like the word, but it's an adolescent sounding word, and I guess it fits the attitude. It's very immature. Is that the way the Pilgrims were, or is it the Amish? Who are our sexual role models? Are we sexually healthy? Do we know how to fuck? You, my interlocutor, do you know how to fuck? Are you sexually healthy? Are you sexually satisfied? If you have to ponder the question, or you try to dodge the question, change the subject, minimize it, be reductive, explain it away, no. Sexual health is sexual health. It's just the same as intestinal health or mental health. And indeed, sexual health and mental health are very, very closely connected. So, spoiler alert, yeah, they build the characters. It's about the fourth episode, third episode. They build the characters, Kerry Washington, Joel Kinnaman. They're both rich. Somebody dies. Kate Mara dies. Now, they're both rich and powerful people. And they are both friends, lifelong friends. Because Kerry Washington is best friends with Kate Mara and also with Elizabeth Moss. The three of them are the so-called imperfect women, or, interpret the way you will. I haven't seen the whole thing. Maybe more imperfect women show up. So we build lots of chemistry between Joel Kinnaman and Kerry Washington. We know, and the actors do a great job, and the writing is very good, and they're whoever the writers are, it's very kind of woke, progressive stuff. Hey, come on. Look, I get to say it. I'm a card-carrying member. So they build up these characters, and there's a lot at stake already. And so then we start wondering about the connection between Kerry Washington and Joel Kinnaman characters. Sorry, I'm using the actors' names because I don't know the fucking characters. How do I not know the characters? How come I never remember the characters' names in movies? And then the most uncanny thing is, then when I realize it, maybe somebody's asking me a question about that character, and I feel really embarrassed, and I'm like, I have to, I have to figure out the name without betraying my idiocy and immaturity. Anyway. So we kind of don't even know, like we kind of figured that these people, these characters, like if that would just be a real cliche if they fucked. And anyway, they're building up these characters to look like they're very moral people. And that they have, I don't know, what's the word, forbearance, or that they're reflective. And they have presence of mind and all that, and they're well aware of the risks of creating turbulence at that basic level of such a foundational life relationship. So there's a scene, and at some point we realize it is going to happen, and they really took their time, and I mean it's brilliant. They really build the tension. I mean, they get to the point, and their faces are like, and then they're pulling away, and they're hesitate, and turn away to walk. No, man, maybe I do need to fuck you. I'm paraphrasing, and then all of a sudden it's on, and you're like, okay, they are going to do it, and then it happens really fast. But it's very palpable. But then Joel Kinnaman is naked. He gets naked. And then Kerry Washington's underwear comes off. You can see it. You can see it be pulled to the side. And she's pulling his pants down. I mean, so they strip him naked. So Joel Kinnaman's on top of Kerry Washington, naked. And they've just yanked her underwear off. And so then they really get to business. What do we see? A live birth in 7th grade? When I'm in 7th grade? No, I'm 51. There was nothing visually graphic. I didn't see any penis or vagina. But the actor is naked. The actress still has some loose fitting on. But there's definitely a lot of skin exposure. But then her left leg goes up in the air. Like, now. That seems like a first. But it's really both parts. I mean, I'm trying to think now, because there have been, bare-ass dudes fucking in R-rated movies before. I've definitely seen that. Nothing really comes to mind. But there's no body doubles, obviously. These people, they had to go through all kinds of psychotherapy in order to just be able to, for those two actors to get down, and you hear, I mean, even the sounds, especially that Kerry Washington makes, it's like, oh, they're fucking. Well, if you told me, oh no, they're really fucking, like maybe they're married, I don't know. I don't know anything about these actors. If you told me that they were married, but still, they probably, a married couple wouldn't do that, would they? Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. I'll have to watch that one again. That wasn't very believable though, was it? Or was it? Yeah, watch Imperfect Women. 46 minutes it took me to say, Joel Kinnaman and Kerry Washington fucking are like, yeah, it's like really good. It's super authentic. I mean, it's super plausible. It's a real representation of a sexual encounter. It stood out. It stands out. I mean, certain aspects of it. There are certain aspects. All of a sudden, the left leg goes way, way back. And yeah, you do a double take. That's not a TV thing. That's not even an R-rated movie thing. I mean, it is, and think about what the association is too. Think about what the association is, because that's, I don't know if it's a trope or what we call it in porn studies. That's a journal. Look it up. It's about 5 years old. Porn studies, academic journal. Yeah, like legs way back, like ankles behind the neck, like that much way back. Right. That's hard pornography. But it's also just perfectly ordinary sex, right? I mean, look, nobody knows how anybody else fucks. So that's part of what discourse and dialogue and discourse and dialogue. Why are we so preoccupied with sex? Because we're so. The reason that we are so preoccupied with sex, I will tell you. No, it is the prudishness. That's why. Like, if you consider, like, Inuit culture, I've seen a few Inuit documentaries. There are some cultures where sex is such an ordinary part of it. Like if you have a family of 10 people, and that includes parents and children living in one small room, and that, in fact, is probably describes a majority of the world population. Sex is not going to have the exotic fantasy type character that it has in the United States. Why? Because we're a bunch of fucking Amish pilgrims. That's why. We're really fucking uptight. And the Greeks aren't that better. I can't speak. The Greeks are not that much better. I say Greeks because I have Greek heritage, and they don't know jack shit about sex. They're more mute about sexual truth than Americans are. Greeks. I wonder how Italians are. Do they talk about sex? They must. It's a lot of information, but of course it's interesting stuff. What? Because I'm just, basically giving you my version of fucking tabloid gossip, right?